Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. I've just come back from the Spurs game. And yes, people might think, why was I at the Spurs game? Well, my friend had a spare ticket and I've always wanted to see the stadium. And also, it was Tottenham versus Bournemouth. And one thing that I knew I was going to see was a good game. I thought there would be goals. I thought it could be a 2-2, it could be a 3-2, but it was not the case. Bournemouth came away with the 1-0 victory away at Tottenham. And what a big 3 points that is to head into the international break. But I could make a video on my club, Manchester United, who got their 3 points today against Burnley. But I'm not going to do that because Bournemouth deserve this video. Your fans deserve to watch this video if you do. And I hope if you do, you like it, you enjoy it, and you can see my balanced views because today, that was super impressive. To watch a game full on for 90 minutes and see what Bournemouth did to Tottenham today, they fully deserve their victory. They deserve that 3 points. 1-0 for me was an unjustifying scoreline. I think 2 or 3-0 would have been fair. It would have been a more reflection of the performance I see from Bournemouth and the performance I saw from Tottenham. And that's why I'm going to talk about Bournemouth first of all, because we can talk about Spurs and their lack of quality. But actually, let's talk about the good things that Bournemouth did away from home at Tottenham Hotspur, 3 o'clock, when Tottenham have not conceded a goal, gone to Manchester City and won, and beaten Burnley 3-0. And everyone's talking about Thomas Frank this, Thomas Frank that, Xavi Simons this, Xavi Simons that. Well, today it was Bournemouth, and it was Antoine Semenyo, Adam Scott, Tyler Adams, and one of the most underrated signings of the summer, Diakite as well. Guys, Truffer and Diakite from the back have been very, very good for Bournemouth in terms of the way they've just come and acclimatized and the way they've settled in. And they are going to get better and better. And it won't be long, within a couple of seasons, that other clubs are then looking for them and saying, look, we're going to pay more money, and then Bournemouth go and recruit again. And Bournemouth are starting to become very smart in the market. They're starting to become a bit like Brighton and Brentford, where they're going out now with Iraola and they're expanding sort of the way they operate in the market and go across Europe and get these clever players in, these players with potential, the players with a good age. And I love it. Zabani's gone. Kirkers is gone. Hoyson's gone. 3 of the main back 4 have gone. The keeper, Kepa, they've got Petrovic in after a good season at Strasbourg. And what they've done with Truffer, Diakite, and Petrovic today, you wouldn't even have noticed that the 3 big players went from last season. They were tremendous at the back, to the point that it took until the 75th minute or something like that off the top of my head for Tottenham to have a shot, which was Bergvall, and the keeper comfortably held it. And then Matisse Tell in the 90th minute shot just wide on a volley, which wasn't a chance. He just created that moment. Today, defensively, they were so dominant. Brennan Johnson hardly got a sniff, booed from the crowd, dragged after 53 minutes. Mohamed Kudus today, up to at least the 70th minute, couldn't do nothing against Chauffeur. Couldn't take him on, couldn't beat him 1v1. Just went backwards into the midfield. They kept their talisman quiet in Kudus. And then Diakite and Senesi, strong, dominant, imposing. Richarlison, they had him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Spurs' attack did nothing. And that is because Bournemouth defensively was so good. They were aggressive. They were tight. They didn't allow Tottenham just to play through them easily. They got back into their shape in their 4-2-3-1, and they sat there strong, composed. I said, Tottenham, come and break us down. Show us what you're made of. And Spurs didn't have nothing. And I think today, even the midfield, you look at Tyler Adams in there, Adam Scott, who obviously, is a very good talented player, and he might have his breakout season finally now in the Premier League. But him and Adams, they were controlling Papi Sarr, Paulinho and Bentancur. Spurs didn't know what to do with the ball. They couldn't pass through the lines. They would just knock it about at the back 4, going from Paulinho to the centre-backs. The press from Tavernier, Semenyo, Brooks was very good. And Adam Scott and Tyler Adams just moved up on Bentancur and Sarr, and they didn't know what to do. Iraola today got his coaching plan spot on. And they would win the ball back sometimes in the transition in midfield. And then they would have attacks. And there was very, very good moments and opportunities for Bournemouth to extend their lead that they took in like the 4th or 5th minute. But Vicario and Van der Ven were Tottenham's best players. That says a lot about Bournemouth and how they played today. Van der Ven was on an early yellow card, and he was very solid, making some last-ditch tackles and reading the game well. and Vicario had to make 3 or 4 very good saves, which would have buried the game. But Bournemouth's compactness in the way they set up, solid defensively, but then were attacking at the same time in terms of when they pitched the ball back and pressed Spurs, they were quick with their passing. Adam Scott, Tyler Adams, so composed in there, so mature, didn't make no mistakes. And look, this player deserves the shout out because it has to be done. Watching him live, I knew he was good. I rate him anyway. Left foot, right foot, dribbling ability, decision making, ball carrying, getting himself in the final third, creating chances. Antoine Semenyo, my brother, what a player. Bournemouth, to keep him this summer, that is 3 points in itself. That guy is top quality. That guy is top quality. If he was English, in terms of, I know he plays for Ghana, but I mean, if he wasn't playing for Ghana and he had no call up from any international setup, he would be in that England squad this international break. He is so good to watch live. And I knew that anyway, watching him on TV, but he just gives you like, he plays football. Everything is effortless to him. The way he was picking up the ball and like taking on Porro and like the little shimmy of the shoulder and like you could see the fear that Tottenham had when he had the ball, because him and Truffert are really building a little connection. The overlap from Truffert, Semenyo then able to cut inside. You know, he was trying to work with Evanilson, slip him in a few times, and Tavernier as well. But everything about Antoine Semenyo and what he does is just always correct. The timing of the pass, the weight of the pass, whether he should run in the box and attack across, whether he should cross himself, you know, when to dribble, when to not to dribble, when to pass to the overlap. Everything he does, he just seems to have the IQ where he's like, right, in 2 seconds, I'm going to do this. And I have to be honest with you, he has signed a new deal at Bournemouth. He will not be there next season. It's going to take an offer of around 70 million to get Antoine Semenyo out of that football club, because he is Bournemouth's hot property. Yes, Bournemouth have a lot of good players and I respect them and, you know, what they're doing and stuff. But when you look at Antoine Semenyo, the perfect age of 25, so he's only going that way. He's acclimatizing to the Premier League every season. His performances are getting better. He's dangerous in the final third. He's got the IQ. He works hard, helps out defensively. When it comes to wingers that can also dribble and they cause your right back problems just all game, it's perfect. And Antoine Semenyo is one of the most perfect wingers in the Premier League right now. And people might think I'm crazy for saying it. When you name me 5 better wingers in the Premier League right now, I actually don't think I can. Out and out wingers, I can't. I think he gets into a lot of the top sides already. He would start at Arsenal on that left-hand side. He would start over Cody Gakpo on that left-hand side for Liverpool. Manchester United, he would start anyway. Chelsea, he starts for Chelsea. Tottenham, he starts for Tottenham over Brennan Johnson. Tottenham, actually thinking about it, sorry, Bournemouth have a winger that is basically probably one of the top 5 in the league. Fair play. Because watching him live, he was top quality. And Antoine, keep doing what you're doing and keep enjoying your football. And I'm glad that you signed a new deal at Bournemouth, because 1, they're going to get money out of it when he ends up leaving. And 2, you get to enjoy regular starts and you get to cement the impact you had last season. Because you signed from Bristol City. It was a bit of a slow burner. Last year, people saw what he was made of. This year, you can cement that. And Bournemouth get good money and you move on to a Champions League club, because that's where he should be playing next season. I think he's a very good player. And today, Bournemouth just really impressed me defensively, the way they played. Midfield, Tyler Adams and Adam Scott didn't give Bentancur, Polinia or Papi Sarr a sniff. And then up front, the way that Brooks and Evanilson got his goal, which, you know, he always works hard. I think he should score more than he does. But today he got his goal and duly deserved. But like the way Brooks, Semenyo and Evanilson work as well, just in tangent with the midfield, and they all work together and work. Tottenham are crap because Bournemouth didn't allow them to be good. And look, one thing I will say is Tottenham, Xavi Simons, you needed him to stay on that pitch. You lacked so much creativity. You didn't know what to do with it. The defenders are knocking it about amongst each other. When they got to the midfield, Polina and Bentancur, there was no real options. You know, Brennan Johnson was poor. Richarlison could not hold it up because Diakite was just very solid with Senesi. You know, the passing was slow. Fans were getting restless. It was so interesting sitting in that Spurs end and the big end as well, the Velodrome end where it's behind the goal in the second half. And they had nothing to shout about until the 75th minute. I was so disappointed in Tottenham's display after coming back from holiday and seeing what the scorelines were, the 3-0 and the 2-0 win away at City. I thought, wow, Thomas Frank. But then it shows you this is the Premier League and reality hits. And I knew that the Bournemouth game was going to be the hardest one of them all because they're at home and Tottenham fans would expect to win. And Bournemouth are no joke. And the way they play with transition, counter-attacking players, and Iraola is a very good coach, as we're seeing at the moment. The way he's lost big players and just brought other players in and moved on and said, yeah, I'm going to coach you guys. I'm going to believe in you guys. And so he did. So today, Bournemouth fans, you should go home very happy, both with the attacking display, but also the defensive display, because that was a proper dominant display for 75 minutes. You fully deserve that. And yeah, you're going to have testing moments in the last 15 minutes. That's going to happen. Spurs make a few changes. They need to get a goal to get back in the game. That's cool. But you still kept the clean sheet. So you've done exactly what you would have done today. That is what you called the perfect away display. Apart from you just didn't score more than one, which you should have. But guys, if you're Bournemouth fans today, yeah, I just wanted to give you a video because I think you guys deserve it. And I'm really impressed with what you've done in terms of the summer window so far and also your performance. So take them 3 points, go back to the beach on the South Coast and enjoy the international break. But guys, that is my wrap for today, being at the Spurs game. They needed Xavi Simons. They need him badly. They also need another attacking player because Tell, Odebert, Richarlison, Solanke out to maybe Christmas, I'm hearing, not good enough. And when you've got Champions League in 2 games a week, you're going to be tested, Spurs. So, yeah, Daniel Levy, you might have to get into your pocket after today. But, guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And Bournemouth, shout out you guys. Brilliant performance today.